Hey everyone, we're gonna do some two-man queues, and one of my last videos my wife was listening to me and she said that I sounded very monotone, so I will try to be a little more lively. How about that? um, so this hand actually is pretty good. We should be able to get everything except for distant melody in play, at least by turn 2. Unless, of course, he has some sort of removal for a Nettle Sentinel. And I've been playing a lot of games here recently. Definitely gotten a better feel for the deck. Excuse me. And I really feel like a lot of the matchups are actually pretty good now. 8 post actually in any variation is still kind of tough for us, but it's not as bad as it was before. I do have one where I actually win, mostly by luck, but you know, sometimes you don't draw any land, or sometimes you don't draw any of your removal. I mean, unfortunately, that's just sort of the way it goes. So this might actually be really good for us here. I think we can even get priest down, and then next turn we can actually distant melody. Which so far would be the sickest turn 3 that I've had yet with the deck. For those that have been watching, I've had some pretty good turn 2s, but this would definitely be one of the best turn 3s, I think. Yeah, definitely this is looking pretty good. So I'm guessing Plate Mamba. Or Ironclaw Mirror. Either or. Alright, so that was really good for me, because that's going to generate a lot of mana for me. And I'm actually just going to tap Essence Warden here, just because. Could have maybe got through for another point, but I don't think it's going to much matter. Alright, well, I guess if we would have drawn another distant melody, that would have been pretty much the topper. We can pretty much play out all of our cards. I guess maybe I should have left Essence Warden up, just so I could have gotten another point in, basically. Trying to think here if I'm actually going to need to play Priest. I need 5, 6, 7, 8 more mana. I can actually just get it by casting Rangers and whatnot, so... Or I'm sorry, just using Nettle Sentinels. Oops. Well, doesn't really matter in the end here, I guess. Although I will save the last Quern Ranger. Just so I can untap them again. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to cast Quern Ranger just so I can untap them next turn, just in case. And we're actually going to put this on Birchlaw Ranger because maybe he'll block, although I highly doubt it. Yeah, I'm going to miss a point here, so that's good to note. Should be at 8. Pretty much anything that happens here, I'm just going to block. There's no reason for me not to block, basically. Yeah, so that was pretty good. Nothing like a turn 3 win. Doesn't happen too often, especially with elves. I also even have an affinity matchup where I figured out my best plan of victory, or best plan of attack for that one is just to go mana denial, just start use the gleeful sabotages on lands. Try to get down a Timberwatch Elf. Just that's pretty much all you can do. This is a really slow hand. I'm hoping he brought in Hornet Stings and doesn't have Glistener Elf. Oop, nice little pump fake there. Getting me worried. That's probably about the worst thing I could have drawn there. We're just going to go Nettle Sentinel here. We're going to have mana. We can't really accelerate into Huntsmaster here on the next turn. So I'd rather just sort of get... Well, that's unfortunate. That would have been good to be able to cast. Because now we're going to have to cast that next turn. And the reason why is because after Timberwatch is down, you're normally okay. Unless of course they Blessing. But it also speeds up your clock considerably because they don't really have any way to remove it. So as long as I don't die here, anytime they play a land, it's always a worry. Feel a groundswell coming. Or Rancor. I wonder why they just don't put Giant Growth in here. It's like 3 land and Rancor, Giant Growth, and Groundswell. That's dead also. So he got his turn 3 win. Not much I can do about that. Guess I could have blocked, lost my guys. Fortunately, he doesn't have to use any pump though. He would have had to use 1 pump spell. I would have lost my entire team. Which for me is not the best option. That's not playing to win. This would have been a good hand, I think, if we would have had a forest. I tell you, that island always gets me. Seal strength. Well, I took out my distant melodies, so it doesn't do me a whole lot of good to cast Priest at this time. Unless, of course, I draw Timberwatch Elf next turn, which is a possibility. The reason I'm going this way is that I just need to, I mean, he hasn't cast a creature yet, so that's really good for me. Unless, of course, he has double Sandstorm, which would be horrendous for me. Rotwolf would be bad for me. Alright. Ironclaw Mirror, not so bad. If he's wasting pump spells on his turn, that would be beneficial. I should have cast an elf first. That was probably the right play to cast an elf instead of land granting first. No reason to show my hand prior. And I could very well be dead here. I'm trying to figure out what I need to block with. He's going to be a 4/4 at least. 7/7 if I block. Which means I need like 7 toughness. What I need is one guy to live. And it would be beneficial if I could kill his guy. If he doesn't lay land, that's good for me. Not putting a Raincore on him is also good for me. So I just need to make sure I don't die this turn. I'm trying to think of the pump spells that he could have. So if he has 1 Invigorate, let's see, how much damage could I do to him? 6/8 damage. So he only has to have 1 pump spell to kill my entire team and for his guy to live. He didn't lay land, so it can't be Groundswell. He could have Mutenic Growth. Binds of the Vast would be 6. I think I just gotta let him through, because it doesn't do me any good to block with just one guy, because, well, he can't give him trample. I'm trying to think of what gives him trample at instant speed. I don't think anything does. Anything that they're running, I can't think of anything, at least not for 1 mana. Well, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't follow the list. I thought Raincore was the only thing. And if I'm wrong, well, lesson learned. Alright, so Predator Strike. So he only needs to pump it 1 more, and I'm dead. And there it is. Oh, I wasn't sure. Even if I don't block, yeah, still would have died. Either way, I would have had to block with all of my guys I would have been at 1 poison and no creatures except for my 4. Well, he wouldn't have had to use Mutinic Growth to save his guy, so that was good. Predator Strike. Gotta remember that they can give instant trample. Oh, good. Land Grant. And pretty much everything I need. As long as it's not against burn or anything that runs 1 casting cost removal. I'm actually kind of hoping he plays an island, not Cloud Post. But we'll see, we'll see. Anyone that's planning on playing this deck, I definitely feel that you should play. Oh, that's actually really good for me because I have priests. Ooh, yeah, lots of essence wardens. Actually, what I'd like to do is, I think my best plan here is to get priest down, get the Huntsmaster down, and then just essence warden it up with a bunch of tokens. I think that's my best plan of attack here. We'll see. We'll see if this pans out. May or may not. I do not know what's happening. This must be 8 green post, so I kind of have to worry about crushers. Life isn't necessarily irrelevant, but let's see, how do we want to go about this? We want to get the Huntsmaster into play first. Yeah. And we can just Quern Ranger the rest of the guys. And we make a bunch of 1/1s. So his sideboard is going to be a bunch of Sandstorms, possibly Moments Pieces, definitely probably Hornet Stings, because I don't really know what Green Post has in its side. It's so, you're restricted to 1 color. But Huntsmaster is definitely good against Crusher. Because not only do you have elves to sacrifice, but you can also block with your tokens. And he has to attack every turn, so he can't just stonewall your attack if it comes down to that. I wish I could attack for anything, but I guess that was my second turn? No, that was my 3rd turn. Oops, I almost F6. You don't want to necessarily F6 here because you might Acid Moss or Thermal Karst your land. Especially if you cast Acid Moss, you want to make sure that you bounce your land with Quern Ranger. Herald is okay. I'm trying to think if I want to attack with everything. Well, I definitely don't want to attack with Huntsmaster. I don't have any blue mana right now, which is actually relevant because definitely don't like if I could cast Distant Melody in the next couple turns, I definitely would want to keep that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So imagine I get through for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I lose these guys. He has to pretty much do the same thing next turn. He could go to 1. Definitely think I can swarm here, but I want to make sure I cast this guy first. Because he's going to block the Huntsmaster with the Herald. I'm trying to think if he has any life gain in the deck. I don't think he does. It's a possibility he might be able to cast another wall next turn. But I still think I swarm him over 3 turns. So losing the priest is not that big of a deal. Obviously, if he decides to block Clearing Ranger and I draw if I happen to draw Timberwatch Elf, that would be different. But if I was him, I'd probably block the Huntsmaster with the Herald and the wall with Nettle Sentinel. To me, that doesn't seem correct, but because now he's dead for sure next turn, unless he's got maybe he's got Acid Moss, but that you can't really cast it because he just dies. Yeah, I'm not really sure what his plan here is. If I was him, I don't know what my plan would be. I definitely would have taken out the Huntsmaster. You know, I don't have any hand, so he knows that I don't have any combat tricks. And the thing is that even though I can generate infinite amounts of mana almost with Priest of Titania, you know, I don't have any cards. So unless I'm running some sort of green X spell like Hurricane, which isn't even legal, or what would be another fun one? Genesis Wave would be fun. I don't know. What's the there's some. Remember there being some sort of buyback worm spell? What the heck is that spell? I think it's a rare. Here it is, Worm Calling. Right? So, I don't know, maybe he thinks I have Worm Calling. Fierce Empath is another blocker. But he's still at 7. Is he going to get Crusher? I wish I was running some Twisted Images in the sideboard. That would have been fun. So he's still dead? Unless he's running main deck Sandstorms, which I would be very unhappy with. And when I say unhappy, I mean extremely unhappy. But, you know, maybe he's a player scorned by Teps. So I've definitely seen people play decks where you just run every hate card for the deck you hate the most. If he taps the elf, I'm going to be afraid. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. 5 blockers, 12 attackers. Yay, nay. Yeah. Fog it up. No. slow roll in the sandstorm? Oh, he is. He's going to gain 2 life. He's going to gain a life. Okay, so he gained a life. So now he's at 1. Is he gonna put a Glimmer Post, crop rotate for Glimmer Post? Because that would be the kick to the nuts right there. With it on the stack, actually. Forced away for Glimmer Post. Gain another 6 life. Is that how that would work? And then cast another Herald. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Corrosion Tusker. I'll give him this. He's not giving up. So he must have a plan. He must have some sort of plan to win. Tapping his blockers seems strange. So he's got 1 more crop rotation in his hand. So he's gonna go to 6. He's got 2 blockers. Maybe he's got double crop rotation. Raincore helps. And maybe should have slapped in on a different guy. But it would have been good to get rid of the Herald though. I guess Spider Silk Armor. Definitely don't want to take out Raincores. Those can be fodder for what is it? Annihilator. Cheap, easy. Thing to remember here in this matchup, his only removal is either going to be Hornet Sting or Sandstorm. So if you can help it, you don't want to just run your guys into Sandstorm. Kind of want to bring in Thermal Karst, but I don't necessarily want to take out anything. Just because I know he doesn't have any way to interact with my deck. And his deck is not really dependent on Cloud Posts. He does have the walls, which I don't have any answers for. So attacking one source of mana and not the other, such as the walls in this case, doesn't really do us a whole lot of good. I think I'm going to keep both long. I think I'm just going to roll with how it is. Yeah, this matchup I haven't really played a whole lot. Alright, well this is an okay one. Actually, just getting Timberwatch into play is very good for us. Because again, he's unless he's got some sort of sideboard tech that I don't know about. Definitely want to cast these land grants ASAP. Don't want to draw any more land. 3 is good. We do kind of need blue. Well, yeah, Birchlore Ranger, I guess. Because after Timberwatch comes into play, you can just manage your guys and sort of plow through his defenses. Or just win. Obviously, Thermal Karst here is... I'd imagine you take out his land destruction because we don't have a whole lot of mana. Maybe not. Nope. So how many guys can I get down this turn? Well, his land destruction becomes moot as soon as I draw Quirn Ranger, so that is actually good for us. Can't lay another land, but I do want to get Let's see. We could put Birchlaw Ranger into play. Attack for 1. Trying to think if it's better to, I think it's actually better to get the other elves into play now. But I definitely want to get Quirn Ranger in case he has Acid Moss. I don't want him to thin out his deck anymore. No, I could get Birchlaw Ranger into play. I'm trying to think if that does anything for us. I wouldn't have any land in hand. Well, I could get Birchlaw Ranger and then Rancor up something, but I don't think I want to do that. That guy's pretty good. Definitely want to get Timberwatch Elf into play. I'm just gonna cast my guys. That's all I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna get everything out there. Definitely. Oops. That was actually not smart on my part, because if he did bring in Hornet Stings, you know, I just would have lost Rancor, which would have been absolutely terrible. So he's got to have Sandstorm here, or he's in a lot of trouble. The only reason why I want to put Longbow out there right now is in case I have to pump him twice. I am willing to risk both my lands for double Sandstorm. He's either given up or he's sandbagging Moment's Peace. Yeah, I'll bite. You got me. Well, we didn't have anything. That's a bigger surprise than anything. I thought for sure he was going to have something. I think I can get one more game in here. I guess that's another thing you can watch for when you're playing against somebody. If it looks like they have F6, and for those that aren't sure what F6 does for Magic, basically you just yield all priority. So you're basically telling the game, I'm not going to respond to anything my opponent does. In that case, the very first pump that I did, he actually didn't respond. It just skipped right to my guy being pumped. So that told me either he is, he didn't have Sandstorm, or like I was saying, he was trying to sandbag Moment's Peace, which is a possibility. By that I mean he hits F6, waits until I do the last one, then hits, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I hit F3 to stop the triggers or from the yields. Alright, let's see. Get Queering Ranger down. Okay, I think this is okay. I'd really like to get Priest down the second turn. If I can. I think I can. But we'll see it. And we go first turn, Nettle Sentinel attack, Birchlore Ranger, tap both of those for Queering Ranger, untap Nettle Sentinel, tap them. Yeah, I think we can get Priest out there, and then we can actually cast or find our island with Sylvan Ranger. Unless, of course, I don't know what this is. So, maybe this is the same guy. I was playing against a Fissure or Temple Storm deck the other day, or earlier today. I'm hoping to get that video up later, but I get lucky. I'm not gonna lie. You know, you gotta take your wins where you can get them. So Queering Ranger, yes. I'm just gonna untap this guy just because. Play the forest. Him. Priest. Yes. I don't know why I don't have this auto yield off yet. Can't cast Sylvan Ranger now, but definitely don't want to tap Nettle Sentinel. Just because these guys will naturally untap next turn, so. I got sort of a bad feeling that he has Mana Leak. Probably not Negate, that would be the only thing that could stop Distant Melody. Well, we'll just test Birchlore Ranger here and see what. Well, we'll see what happens. Do you want to? Yeah, let's tap Birchlore Ranger for some mana. Actually, we're going to tap Queering Ranger. Because if there's anyone not attacking, it would be Queering Ranger. Birchlore Ranger can just run in there whenever. Is there any reason for me not to attack first? No. Well, other than I got my mana. Tap this Birchlore Ranger. Nettle Sentinel for Sylvan Ranger. Look at our island. Play the island. Tap this for 6. Hopefully he doesn't have negate. No, just F5 through that, so that's good. Alright, well, we definitely want to get the rest of our cards down. I'm trying to think if it's actually worth it to equip Verdiran Longbow first. Yeah, I think equipping Longbow is okay here. Attack. Maybe should have played Rancor this turn. Should have just played Rancor with. So we should be at 13. Just remember that, kids. 13 you should be at. I am not the smart guy. Kind of nice getting a bunch of little extra damage in here. So Lenny, if you're watching, thanks again. Fortunately, I have no idea what he's playing. He's either playing Fissure Storm, or I'm sorry, Familiar Storm, or Blue-White Weenie that didn't cast any guys. Like, I feel the only deck we're going to lose against is going to be Temporal Storm or Familiar Storm. So we're just going to hedge our bets here. We're just going to go off of this actually is pretty decent. Just go with my gut. Obviously I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. And this is like every 3 and 4 casting cost spell we have. I'm really tempted to risk it since we're drawing. I think I'm going to risk it. Normally I wouldn't, but we're up a game. Tend to take more chances when you're up a game. You know you have one to give, so... Plus we still don't really know what we're playing against, so... Thermal Curse may be great, Thermal Curse may be bad. Well, we get a little lucky. Obviously we could have drawn, you know, 8 Elves, or the Quern Ranger, or Land Grant, or any of the other just regular lands. So, our bet was right, which is good. I'm glad I kept in Longbow now. I'm kind of hoping he lays down a bounce land. Do it! Crap. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I need to make sure he's not going to kill me next turn. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually kill the island. I wish I had more mana so I could lay this other priest. I just can't risk it. Can't risk dying next turn. No island, no island, no island. Alright, what do I want to do here now? Definitely want to get Verduran Longbow onto something. Just so that way if he casts Cloud of Fairies, I can shoot them if he tries to snap. Like I said, I've only played this matchup once, and so I totally misplayed it the first time I played against it. That video that I'll eventually upload, you know, I make a ton of mistakes. I don't know what I'm going up against. The thing here is I want to make sure that I don't know if I want to wait. I'm trying to think if it's better, if it's going to be better to kill it on the way down or kill it when he tries to snap it. The problem is if I let him... So if you cast Fairy, if I would shoot it before he untapped his lands, you know, let's see if I waited, he untaps, he could technically snap my elves in response, or snap, and then I have to shoot my own elves, which is never a good proposition. Guess I should have waited. I didn't realize. Should have waited. It's not like we were. It's not like he was under any sort of pressure. I think he would have waited, thinking that I didn't side in thermal karsts. Which, you know, in all fairness, why would he think I would side in thermal karsts? Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Another elf. Definitely want to. I think actually what I want to do here is do it this way. Cast this elf. Tap this for 6. I guess the only problem with casting the Huntsmaster is he gets a target for snap that he can use. I guess that's a Timberwatch elf. So here's the thing. I think I just gotta try to kill it when he tries to, because right now if I try to kill it, he's just gonna snap it. So that obviously doesn't do me any good. Well, I should say he's going to snap it if he's got snap. I sort of, when I'm playing against this deck, I always assume that they have it. He's going to cast this with Evoke. So he's going to have, so he's got Ghostly Flicker. So I definitely want him to cast Ghostly Flicker first. So he doesn't get, because then if he does snap, at least I cost him at least one. He doesn't get a free iteration of Cloud of Fairies. I don't know why he's tapping many. He had 3 men in his pool. See, now he's going to Ghostly Flicker. So I'm going to say okay. Well, no, I don't want to say okay because he's going to... Because if Snap resolves, then he's just going to untap his lands. Ghostly Flicker resolve. Well, because see, the thing is if I let this resolve, he misses one untap anyway. Still has Ghostly Flicker. Then he still has Cloud of Fairies. So either way, he's going to have a Cloud of Fairies. This way, I just ensure that Snap doesn't resolve. But it's not really going to matter. I don't think it really matters. I think I'm overthinking this. Either way, and then I actually can just hit F6 because I don't have anything else to do, and I'm going to eat my pizza. It's not like I could do a whole lot there. I decided not to eat my pizza because I'm sort of a loud chewer. Those that know me, it's not good at all. So let's see, he's going to get back, so he's got to have what is it, pneumatic wall, is that what it's called? He's got pneumatic wall to get back temporal, but I guess he just got Ghostly Flicker, and that pretty much creates an infinite loop. So it makes me pick up my team. There's nothing new. And then I think I'm locked out here. Because he temporal fissures. He gets back temporal fissure. Temporal fissures back the wall next turn. 4 mana. That doesn't work, I guess. It just says go. So my new plan is just to deck him. Anybody else like that plan? Snaps. Yeah. Just double checking. Just for those that don't know. So what happens is he casts Cloud of Fairies twice. Pneumatic Wall once. Gets back Temporal Fissure, bounces all 3, and basically, any of my 1 permanents, and all he has to do is cast one other spell in there to bounce my board continuously for the rest of the game. So, if I had any way out of it, that would be great. Unfortunately, I don't. Main deck or sideboard. So definitely want to take out Distant Melodies. Definitely going to put in Rancors. And you think I'm going to take out a Birchlore Ranger. Yes, no. Actually, I'm going to keep a Birchlore Ranger. I'm going to take a Sylvan Ranger out. The reason is because Birchlore Rangers cost 1. Sylvan Ranger costs 2. They're the same power and toughness. And I don't necessarily need blue now that I've taken out Distant Melody. And this is pretty good. I think I can cast everything on my second turn again. And quite honestly, all except for Thermal Karst, I guess. I can't cast Thermal Karst second turn. So, I don't know. For those that have been following and watching the deck grow, I definitely like being able to cast pretty much my entire hand on the second turn, because that really doesn't happen a whole lot except for, like, say, Storm decks, Goblin decks. Not even Goblin decks really can cast their entire hand on second turn. The unfortunate part is I had to land grant to show him that I had Thermal Karst, so he's going to manage his mana a little bit better. So it's good to keep that in mind. And there's Sylvan Ranger, who we could actually care less about. Well, that's not necessarily true, but I just want to make sure I cast my guys in the right order here. In this particular case, life is not irrelevant. So I definitely want to get Essence Worn down next. And I think my last matchup against the Fissure Storm deck, or Familiar Storm, whatever the hell we're calling it nowadays, kind of shows that. Not that life is irrelevant, but he's got blue, Nightscape Familiar. Echoing Decay, Shrivel, Nausea, Echoing Decay, Birchlore Rangers. Well, that is unfortunate because I do have double Thermal Karst. Double Thermal Karst, though, is actually really good because now I can sort of fake. I can burn one next turn on a blue source, have him sort of fake him out where he Can't imagine he's going to play a bounce line. Didn't think so. Another Echoing Decay. That is unfortunate for me, so now I gotta get really lucky. Well, that's sort of lucky. Not really, though. And by not really, I mean I'm extremely lucky. So now what I'm hoping is he'll run out a Karoo land, thinking I'm not a complete luck sack. Well, that's unfortunate. He did not. I'm just going to run out Muldrifter, though. Well, unfortunately now I just got to blow up his blue source, just so I can get Nettle Sentinel untapped. Did draw a lot of Echoing Decays. I maybe should have kept back once, because he needs another island to go off here, or another blue source, or another Karoo land. Although he's really constrained on mana. Seagate, Oracle. Not my best friend in the entire world. Alright, well, now I'm in. Oh! Sorry. Stupid lucky. Do I want to just lose a guy here? 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't want to just throw away a guy just yet. The reason is because he's already brought in Echoing Truth, so if he's got more Echoing Truths, I don't want to get down to one guy. And I also like to sort of get this off Findhorn Elf so I can tap it for mana if I need to. So 4, 3. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna do this. Why couldn't you have been Querin Ranger? I don't know if he knows he's dead or not. I'll find out here though if he concedes this turn or if he taps out. Oh, he knew he was dead. Well, 3 Echoing Decays versus 3 Thermal Karsts, and in this particular battle, Thermal Karsts come out on top, just because of the nature of the decks and how each one needs to win. So, well, I hope my commentary was a little more livelier instead of just monotone. I'm not so monotone, although when I'm thinking a lot, maybe it does sound more monotone. So, until next time.